Hi, I'm Caleb Goellner, Senior Editor of ComicsAlliance.com. I'm here with Anthony Bourdain and Joel Rose, co-authors of the new Jiro graphic novel from Vertigo. Guys, how's it going at Comic-Con? Is this your first show?
This is my first time here. And actually, I went to Comic-Con in like 1970 or something like that in New York. It was, you know, 4 guys folding tables,
sure.
You know, some cardboard boxes. So this is a new adventure for me.
Cool.
And I've been here before because I worked for DC
of course.
in the 90s. So, yeah, I think this is the 3rd or 4th time I've been here.
What do you think of the show this year? Do you think
I haven't been inside yet.
Okay.
I haven't been in either, but I geeked out and went to the Archer Pound yesterday.
Okay, of course.
Yeah, so.
You had fun at that?
Oh, man, they killed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally embraced my inner fanboy.
There's a lot of anecdotes, some of them dubious, some of them actually very true, that go around among comic book fans and especially comic book creators about, you know, higher profile people who don't necessarily work in comics coming to the show and doing just that, like geeking out. A lot of them are incognito. Some of them will like cosplay, some of them will put on costumes and pretend to be like Spider-Man and go like, it's Leonardo DiCaprio and he's like buying like a Frank Miller print for like, you know, just slapping down money because he's a huge fan. Are you guys just gonna like walk in there with sunglasses on and just be chill, or are you gonna have to like put on a giant bear head and people are gonna have to like know that you're in a costume?
Yeah, I'm going bareback.
Okay, nice.
I'm free balling it.
That's heroic.
Yeah.
That's triumph.
Commando.
Now, you know, every creative endeavor has a story. Can you tell me a little bit about how, you know, the perfect storm of Get Jiro came together, like with your ideas and co-writing it, and how you finally pitched it and made it a comic?
We've been talking for 20 years. We've known each other a long time. Joel was the first guy to publish me. In fact, I sent him a comic book, or a comic that I'd drawn and written to the literary magazine he was publishing at the time, and he sent me back a note, or spoke to me on the phone, and said basically, the drawings aren't that good, but the story's cool, and we became friends. And Joel was a great supporter of my writing, and we've just been talking for years. Let's do a comic together. Wouldn't it be cool? Or let's do something. And Joel worked for DC for a while, and so it started kind of slowly but surely gelled to the point where one day we just sat down and said, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Cool, excellent. Now, Langdon Foss, he's got a really unique style. He's got his line weight's pretty consistent, he closes all of his lines. What drew you to him as an artist? What made him the right artist for the book?
We were looking for someone like Seth Fisher.
Yeah, actually, that's a big comparison that everybody's drawn. A really complimentary
I saw
way.
Tokyo Days,
yeah,
and we were looking at that book, and the bento box style in there was riveting. And so right away, as we were looking at different artists, we both agreed, whoever does this has to be able to do that bento box style stuff with that kind of precision, nothing less than that kind of precision. And Langdon, you know, we knew he was great.
From right from the start.
But we had no idea. We had no idea how great he was going to be. And the work he did on this book, it's so fundamental to the storytelling. He brought so much to the whole process, so much more detail, humor, precision. Just, I can't say enough great things about what a joy it was working with him, and how good it felt to finally hold this thing because of his work.
Yeah, he definitely, he enhanced every aspect of this book. He asked questions, he sent us pages of notes on scenes, on panels, on pages that were so insightful, and always asking the relevant question, helping us to pull the whole story together, inserting scenes sometimes, always with deference to us, but don't you think that we should drop this scene? And yeah, he did.
You know, it was like, I wanted this to be a violent book. I wanted it to be kind of funny.
Yeah.
But I also wanted it to be hyper nerdly as far as the details of the food. I wanted to be really sure that was right. And he pushed us beyond that. We're getting emails like, what wine would Jean-Claude serve with a pot of pho? what year exactly? I'm like,
Yeah.
really?
You're just expecting like a bottle that just says wine on the
Yeah.
outside, you know?
But
it's like-
I never thought I
Yeah.
missed stuff like that. What I've been looking at Japanese 17th century tanto knives, by this particular maker in a prefecture near Kyoto, and which of these should I be? And I'm like, wow, okay, nice.
That's excellent. Well, food is hard. I mean, you know this from doing the show. It's hard to present food, outside of reality. It's hard to photograph food and make it look the way that it is in front of you on a table. And so it's doubly hard to illustrate food.
Look, we're asking people to accept a world, or suspend disbelief enough to accept a world where people are cheerfully killing others and forgivably slaughtering others over the enjoyment of food. So the food has got to look right if
Yeah.
you're going to create that kind of world, and he did that for us.
Excellent. Now the book, just me as a comic book reader, I looked at it and I saw parallels to like other comics that I really enjoyed. There's some class issue stuff going on in the book that reminded me of Ink Hall, and it kind of reminded me of Akira. It had like a lot of these cool vibes that I was digging. What were your specifically, if you had any comic book inspirations for this, even in tone or anything else? Did you have any of those?
Movies, most for me.
Sure.
Oishinbo was a huge influence because I love. Yeah, I mean, the fact that you had it's such a schizophrenic book, but the food is always done with precision, and you actually learn stuff reading that book. I've learned things about sushi from Oishinbo that I didn't know from years of traveling to Japan and eating. But Fistful of Dollars, obviously, Yojimbo, the samurai film, Fistful of Dollars, Spaghetti Western, Red Harvest by Dashiell Hammett, were big influences on me. I was thinking about and also Lone Wolf and Cub, and Shogun Assassin. We were very clear early on that when someone gets cut, we wanted some geyser action.
Sure.
We did not want dribbling. We wanted spray.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool. The biggest foodie touchstone in this book is sushi, of course, because the main character is line of work. But then it's filled with other touchstones to foodie culture and just basic food culture and trends that are going on. Some of them, if you're familiar with your work and your shows, they're pretty, it's like, oh, they're familiar, they're easy to spot. How important was it to you to have cultural touchstones to food culture that would still be relevant in this more sci-fi futuristic environment?
I think we're just imagining if current attitudes and current extreme attitudes about food. I mean, food has become where you get your food, where you source it. These things have become very politicized. When they say they define who some people are. The level of sort of food fetishism and snobbery and I just took these two existing attitudes to, absurd extremes. Not just my own prejudices and fears and things I find funny and ridiculous about these attitudes, but also my own sort of hide down attitude. Not putting myself as much as anybody.
I actually thought the book has kind of a balance of that kind of attitude. You don't walk away from the book saying, oh, I should eat this or this. It's got a nice kind of harmony.
I would hope that, if nothing else, this book gives pause to people who are lucky enough to eat in a really good sushi restaurant and, were considering, before even trying the sushi, filling up that little dish with soy sauce and a slurry of wasabi. If I could prevent that from happening just one time, then my work here is done.
It is interesting. This book is from a chef's point of view, and it kind of gives you a look behind the kitchen, which the whole point of what you just characterized is that how you enjoy the food is a sign of respect to the person who prepared it. Do you think there needs to be more comics that are instruction guides for how to enjoy food properly based on how it's prepared?
I mean, I don't want to use the word properly because it's about you want to enjoy food at its best when possible. If you want the I don't want to tell people how to eat, though there's, of course, a tiny part of me, as a 30-year chef that does.
Sure.
But, people should enjoy food. I think this guy just wants to make food as well as he can and is rejecting two extreme philosophies that would tell him how he should or where he should be getting his ingredients. Now, I don't know. I don't want to instruct people. This book shouldn't really be a learning experience. I mean, at the end of the day, it's, a guy doing cool stuff with knives. There's good guys, there's bad guys, and, not a lot of rests, but book 2.
Yeah, okay. Well, speaking, have you guys discussed the possibility of doing either a sequel or just another similarly styled work? Or is your next, have you talked about doing something maybe has nothing to do with food?
Would we do more?
We both had a great time. We've been talking about doing something else. I don't know if we would do a sequel to this. I don't know if we wouldn't do a sequel to this. But
this was so much fun.
We really had a good time.
Yeah.
Cool, excellent. Is there any chance of seeing that original comic book you pitched?
NYU bought the archives to this magazine, and actually I was looking at it the other day, and there's a file, an Anthony Bourdain file there, so it actually might be in the NYU archives, but I'm not sure.
Okay, excellent. Cool. Well, guys, enjoy Comic-Con. It's very nice talking to you. Anthony Bourdain, Joel Rose. Jiro.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys very much.
Thanks.